let's stick with the beef for now and move out of barbecue and talk about some of these underutilized steak cuts. That's another trend that Tyson sees moving forward. Is
Yes.
the growth in those, some of the steak cuts you mentioned, we've heard before, Bavette, Denver steak, things like that. What is driving the increased interest here, and why so now? Again, we've heard of some of these cuts and they've been on various trend reports over time, but
Yeah.
what's driving the interest now versus maybe 2, 3 years ago?
Yeah, I think there are two things that are affecting, and I will hate to say it, but I think pandemic changed some of the things. One of them is the when you look at the beef prices currently, most demanded, your ribeyes, your strips, they will always be there. They're center of the plate. But when an operator is looking at their menu and trying to balance, give options to their consumers, I think the ribeye and the strip is their what do you call it, main steak, but then they're looking for alternatives. So cost becomes an important factor in looking into some underutilized cuts. The other one I think is important because, as we said, we have been at home and we have been trying different things. So it is always great to have your ribeye and strip steak, but when you went to the grocery store, maybe they were gone and you ended up seeing, oh, what is this flank steak? Let me look into this. That's the only thing there. And you came and you Googled and you started cooking. And then you're like, oh, I like this. So people are more willing to try new things, as we said. And the operators, I think, are always looking for a different cut that they can associate with their operation, with their with that cut to differentiate. That person, they have the best hanger steak. We have to go there for it. So I think those are some of the things that are really playing into the end cuts being more in demand right now, or underutilized cuts.
So, it always was a question before the pandemic, with these underutilized cuts that, consumers just don't know how to cook this, like their
Yeah.
parents and grandparents did, right? And some of them are afraid, of buying a bavette or a Denver steak or a
Yeah.
flat iron even, years ago, and I might
Yes.
mess it up, kind of a thing. Do you think that the increased cooking over the pandemic has allayed some of those fears, or
I
maybe
think
like made
so.
people better about it?
Yes, yes. I am sure they screwed it up the first couple of times, but I think they've learned. I mean, we had what, almost 2 years at home to perfect it. So I think they are more familiar with it, different cuts, using different cooking methods. As I said, especially the younger generation. I'm giving away my age, but the millennials and I think they are more open to those things and seeing those on the menu. I think maybe in the past operators were like, oh, shall I put this? Will they understand? Is it going to sell? Now I think they can be more confident putting it on because consumer will look at it and say, oh, flat iron. Yeah, I had that. That's a good cut. So that's how I see it.
One of the few good things that came out of the pandemic, I guess, then, yeah,
Yes,
people
yes,
can actually cook. And by the
yes.
way, I am one of those people that bought an air fryer.
You
Well,
see,
it's an instant pot air fryer, and let me tell you,
that's
it is marvelous. It is
game changer,
a
right?
total game changer. It's great. You don't have to preheat the oven or anything. I'm surprised at all the things I can actually make in that thing. It's
I
just
know, I
insane.
know.
And a
Yes.
smoker is not far behind on my wish list. So
See?
I'll have one of those eventually too. To go back a
Yes.
couple questions anyway.
All right, good.
So another regional specialty that's been kind of all the rage the last 3 years is Nashville Hot chicken. I've actually got my oldest son loving the Nashville Hot stuff, and he loves spicy. So
Oh.
this one he'd probably be super interested in. And I'm a big fan of spicy too. I like the Nashville Hot flavor too. But it's Tyson sees Nashville Hot extending beyond chicken. Where do you guys see that growing, and what's pushing that trend heading into 2022 here?
Yeah, I think one of the things we talked about when you look at flavors, some flavors mix well with some of the proteins. Um, that spicy Nashville is a great match with chicken, but we believe that pork is another protein that will carry that flavor so well. That's where we see the growth beyond chicken to pork, but carrying similar spicy sweet touch. Pork is a great flavor carrier, like chicken when it comes to flavor. So we see extension of that with some pork. Be on the lookout. There will be some chefs using that and putting it on their menus.
Do you feel like it's that sweet, spicy flavor in general, or specifically the Nashville Hot kind of
I think
concept?
People want to be trendy. So Nashville Hot is the trend. I mean, we have so many things that are sweet and spicy, but that mixture, that combination, and how they figured it out, I think the whole thing is beyond just a spice. That concept is going to, I think, move on to pork.
Got it. What other trends are worth mentioning that that we necessarily didn't highlight? Was there any one or two? I mean, again, there were a whole bunch in that trends list, and we could talk forever about all of them. But was there one or two that you wanted to discuss, mention, that had a particular place in the meat, pork, poultry space?
Yeah, well, this is a personal one because I'm from Turkey. I think seeing that Mediterranean flavors and Mediterranean cuisine growing, coming into play, because I do believe that there are a lot of great flavors like sumac and other things that really play well with meats. The other thing is, again, this is a personal thing, but cooking with wine. Why do we only drink the wine? Let's have the beef get the benefit of the wine too. And as we said, some flavors match well with some proteins. I think that is one of the ones that when you're cooking with wine and meat, that I think is also, and creating sauces. Sandwiches. It used to be the bread was the carrier and then you piled up things in it. Not necessarily anymore. You have different carriers besides the bread. The things, the ingredients you put in, it's not mayo and mustard anymore. It's sriracha, it's other things. So sandwiches are becoming, what is the word I'm looking for? Loyalty. It's not only the white tablecloth that you need to go for your ribeye. You have some very, very nice sandwiches out there. So a lot of things happening. As we said, I think overall the message is the world is getting smaller. We are getting closer to each other. We're learning from each other more. Cultures and the things that are associated with cultures are coming. And we have a generation that is really eager to try new things. And that's why we have new trends. Some of them hold, some of them don't, but that's the fun part of it. And this is not the end of it. Next year, Andy, we're going to be here talking about 2023.
That's right. And I think too, the pandemic has made us all crave trying some of these new things a lot more. So
very true.
Yeah, it's very not true. Surprising. Well, Ozlem, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Again, we could talk endlessly about this, and I'm sure people would love to hear it. But hopefully this bit of information is beneficial. I'm
So,
gonna see if I can attach a link to your guys' report online to this
okay,
video,
we
so
would
that you can go
appreciate.
check it out, and we'll go from there. But here's to 2022, and here's to some of these trends
Yes.
making it into my culinary world here in my kitchen.
You have to let me know how that goes.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Only if it's good and Instagram worthy, I will.
All right. Okay. And let me know when you get the smoker.
Of
I will
course.
send you barbecue recipes from Tuffy Stone.
Oh, I'm all over that. All right.
All right.
Thanks
Thank
again
you so much. You take care, Andy. Bye bye.
Bye bye.